Hi, it's Jessi. Today I will be reading more of Gardens of the Moon, the first book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. I normally start these video diary videos with predictions, but honestly I don't have any because I'm mostly just confused. But this video will start with book 3 in Gardens of the Moon and will probably contain through book 4, maybe book 5, depending on how fast it moves, and will be spoilers up to the point that I'm at and spoiler free past that because I am a first time reader of Malazan. So I hope you all enjoy, and I'll update you when I've read a bit. Where am I? I've only read the first chapter. Let me actually check my phone so I can tell you what chapter number that was because I don't know. Yeah, chapter 8. So I've read chapter 8, which is just the first chapter, but I'll give you my thoughts before I go read any more. I have started taking notes, but they're like the vaguest of thoughts just so I don't forget by the time I record. I guess I overestimated the number of point of views because we immediately went back to Whiskey Jack and what are they called? The Bridge Burners. Although it's possible that they flip back and forth, like Whiskey Jack, some other point of view, Whiskey Jack, a different point of view, Whiskey Jack. Maybe that's, or not point of view, storylines. Maybe that's what it'll be, so there will still be a lot. Or maybe I have just been misled about how confusing these books are because, while it has been a little confusing, it has not been anything near what I have been told to expect from this book, I will say. I am glad that said that we got that little moment between Hairlock and Quick Ben, I think, where Hairlock basically sums up the end of book 1 because honestly I had kind of forgotten. That's like the one problem with this kind of alternating storyline is when you come back to a storyline, I don't always remember what happened because I just don't have that kind of memory. I'm really liking the group dynamic that we're starting to establish. It's coming into a bit more focus, and I really hope that it like continues to develop because like this whole idea of like a found family is kind of nice to me. I don't know how found family it is because I think that trope kind of relies on them finding each other over the course of the story, but like it has that feel because I think that is what will really draw me into this story more than anything else because I love a good group dynamic. I just think it can be really fun. But that's my thoughts on chapter 8. I'm gonna read a little bit more, probably update you end of book 1 unless there's something that like burns at me that I need to talk about. All right. Alright, just finished up chapter 10, which means I have finished up book 3. Let me get my phone out for some of my thoughts. I'll expand them as necessary. I'm confused about Taishrin. What I have here is he seems like clearly like a bad guy, and everyone, Tattersail, Dushek, Lorne, seem to hate him, but he's just like chilling with them. I am confused by this still, so I'll talk about a friend of mine kind of in Rid's Discord kind of clarified it a little bit, but like I am really confused by it because like it seems like everybody hates him and knows that he's bad, but they're just like, yeah, it's cool, we hate him and want him dead, but like it's cool. In Rid's Discord server, when I mentioned that I'm in the wrong Discord server, that's why I can't find the conversation. The explanation I got from Caleb, thanks Caleb, was that like nobody knows for sure that he did it. Like they're all pretty sure he did it, but they can't prove it. That he did the stuff against the wizards and the stuff against the bridge burners, but like we're not sure, so they can't really take direct action against him. And the other thing is that like thinking about is that like maybe it was ordered by the Empress because nobody seems real sure of the Empress, to be honest, about Lysine. Nobody seems too confident about her, so maybe that's what it is. He's working at the orders of Lysine, but then like why? And I don't know. Next, wait, did Tattersail do something to Lauren's family? I think that was kind of a bit of a blink and you miss it moment. And there's something between Lorne and Tattersail, and then Lorne tried to have Tattersail killed and then didn't. I don't know what's going on there. If it's something I should know by now, go ahead and feel free to clarify for me in the comments, because sometimes I'm just dense. Aw, found family. Talk and Tattersail Talk the lesser, that is. Or Talk the younger. And Tattersail becoming more loyal to the bridge burners than anything else. I think this is what that's gonna become my catchphrase, I think that's what's happening, right? Because Talk was talking about how he's less loyal to the knives. That's not the right term. To the, whatever the name is for their spy organization. He's not feeling as loyal to them as he is to, what is it, Unit 2? Similarly, Tattersail was thinking about it, so I think this is cute. It's a cute found family. It's exactly what I was talking about last time. Tattersail is falling in love with Perun. When? Why? How? Yeah, Perrin, sorry. I know they were, like, living together for a while because she was helping nurse him back to health, but, like, we didn't see any of their interactions in that time. Were we supposed to just assume what was going on with them? But apparently she's in love with him now. How did Tattersail just forget her cards? I mean, I know it's magic influencing her, but that wouldn't work if she just, like, kept them in her pocket 24/7. Look, if I had a magic fortune-telling device that I could, like, use to keep myself out of danger, it would be in my pocket at all times. It would not leave my pocket unless I was using it, and then it would immediately go back in my pocket. Whatever. The gods are influencing her. She was magically distracted. If it was in your pocket, it wouldn't matter. I get so lost when they start talking about magic, or anything even remotely resembling action, and in the political section, so, I'm missing a lot. That's the point here. What the heck is soul shifting? If it's anything to do with what's his face being the puppet guy whose name I can't remember, starts with an H. I don't like it. Yeah, I just don't like the puppet guy. I mean, I don't think I'm supposed to. He's creepy. He's just weird. He makes me uneasy. I don't like him. I don't know how much I should trust Quickben, but he seems to be against Quickben, so I think we trust Quickben. Just not him. Whatever his name is. And Tool has such a fantastic smooth voice. That's not really thoughts. It's just the narrator just gives him such a nice, deep, soothing voice, similar to Loyal's voice in the Wheel of Time TV show. So that's my thoughts for now. Part 4. Let me see how many chapters are in part 4. Can I see how many are on my own book? Yeah. There's 3 in part 4 and 3 in part 5, so I think I'll probably let this go through part 5. See you in a little bit. I've decided I don't care that you're crooked because I don't want to move off of my couch, so we're just gonna go with that. I finished all of book 4 of Garden of the Moon. I did not mean to. It just kind of happened, so I'm just gonna read you through my notes. I don't have a lot of thoughts on this. This part kind of flew by me without me really knowing what's happening most of the time. So I feel like I missed a lot. Like a lot. So hopefully that won't be a problem later, but we will see. Alright, my first note on here is WTF happened to Tattersail? Is she dead now or something in between life and death? Wait, they're making her be reborn? I thought soul shifting could put you in an object like the puppet guy. Why have her be a baby? Did Tattersail die in the end of part 3 and I just missed it? Because that's something, and they're having her reborn as a baby, so now we have baby Tattersail somewhere? I guess? I really don't know what's going on with that at all, and I'm sure it'll be incredibly relevant at some point in time. These stories have started interweaving much sooner than I expected. That's about Whiskey Jack is in the city that, like, the thieves and the assassins are in, so they're already interweaving, and we're only in book 4 out of, like, 12. I really wasn't expecting this to happen until at least halfway through the book. Things like First Law and Way of Kings really set me up to not expect stories to collide until much later in the story. Whiskey Jack admitting the bridge burners are his friends. That was just cute. I have no idea what happened in chapter 12. There was a lot of talking. Like I said, I missed a lot this section, and I don't know quite why. Kalam sounds like he's giving a 1 week from retirement last job speech. Yeah, Kalam and Quick Ben were, like, going on a
thing. I don't really know what their objective was entirely. I don't know if I'm supposed to know what their objective was. And Kalam was just very much, they were doing this like back and forth thing where like Quick Ben seemed kind of like whatever about it, but Kalam kept saying stuff like, this is our last time we're doing this, right? Don't have to be in the shadows anymore, right? And it just felt very like, oof, 1 week from retirement. She, Lady Assassin, yeah, and then they're fighting people, and there was a Lady Assassin. I have she, Lady Assassin? Never mind, she's dead. I would not be upset with some Lady Assassin things. I kind of love this girl that Crocus stole from. She's bold. Yeah, I think she's neat. And then I don't think this is the kind of series for Happily Ever After, but these guys are cute. Yeah, Crocus and the girl he stole from, whose name I cannot remember at the time, they had some cute vibes, you know? They were cute. And I liked his whole, like, one day you will see me at a formal gathering and offer me your hand, and you will have to pretend like you don't know who I am. And I'm like, swoon. Wow, Elder Ringworm or whatever his name is just info dumped all over Krupa. Lots of names and places, and I have no idea what any of them mean. Yeah, that was the end of book 4, was literally just an info dump, and I have no idea what any of it means. I feel like I have no idea what's happening. There's an assassin war that's supposed to be ending, but I don't know if it actually did end. Krupa's being used as like a spy by like 3 different sides, I think. Crocus is like this kid that's clearly like favored by favored by the twins. And Sorry is working against the twins. And I think there's like a third side. And I think the Empress is on the side of Sorry? No, that's not right. Maybe the Empress is the third side, because Sorry is definitely against the Empire. But I also think the twins are against the Empire. But the Empire is working with, what's his name? The guy that murdered all the wizards and stuff. I think is working on the orders of the Empress secretly. And so that's the third side? Maybe? I have no idea what's going on. I'm going to go into book 5, and I think that's where we'll wrap this video up. Hopefully, maybe I'll update you halfway through, maybe I'll update you at the end again, but we'll see.
Okay, I just finished chapter 15, so not entirely through book 5, but I have like 3-ish pages of notes on my phone about the 2 chapters I did read, so let's just get to it. There's a lot of me just raving about how much I love Toole's voice. I want Toole to tell me bedtime stories. His voice is so smooth and relaxing, which is good because he's saying some scary stuff about the end of the world. I think that's what he was talking about. Quite frankly, I don't know. Wait, is Rake the dark evil guy they want to stop, or is he the one they're hoping will intervene and stop him? I'm pretty sure this got confirmed later for me, whatever I missed there, but they're hoping, and I think I talk about this later. Yeah. So the idea is that is Toole and the adjunct are trying to get into a barrow. And if they get into this barrow, it's going to wake up some dark evil guy of the shadows, which they need to do. Maybe there's something else in the barrow they need that I missed. But what they're also hoping is that they kind of act as bait and they make Animander Rake show up to save them and defeat the dark evil guy, because he's the one guy that has a chance of stopping him, if I understood correctly. I think that's what was going on there. So, I think. And that's like, seems like a risk. Seems likely to go very poorly, which I think it did. They didn't even get into the barrow yet, right? And then there's like a weird thing where like the barrow isn't actually in the time as we understand it, so you have to use like a different warren to get there. And also Toole is just expendable because he's not from one of the like main clans or whatever. I think there's a lot going on. Crocus keeps making fun of mules. I'm not a fan of it. Mules are very smart. They're very intelligent. They're generally just better than horses, gotta be honest, to stop making fun of them.
And, like, I don't think his group was really on a mission, or maybe they were, but, like, I'm pretty sure that was mostly just an excuse to get him out of the city, right? Because they're supposed to be protecting him? Right? I think. Alright. Perun and Tak the Younger are trying to kill an Irun. Is that the name of that species? That Tool is? More on this later. Hairlock, that's the puppet's name. I couldn't remember it at all for a while. Perun trying to figure out how he can use the twins to his advantage, but that's not really how that works. Gods kind of use people. People don't really get to use gods in these kinds of stories, so I'm sure that's going to go well. And this is where I figured out Perun is going after the adjunct to get vengeance for Tattersail. And he's hoping that he can use the gods to help him because the gods had used him in the past. So he's like, maybe I can summon the twins and make them do my bidding. And he doesn't really actually want to kill Tool. Tool is just kind of might end up in the way. And they were planning out for that eventuality. I don't know if I can really explain why I feel what I feel about the different characters, but I know I like Tak, and I know I really don't like Hairlock. So Hairlock hurting Tak, making Tak disappear, not okay. Does get his comeuppance though. I also really like Quick Ben. Those are probably the characters I like the most, both Tak the Younger, who's not there anymore, Quick Ben, and Perun. I liked Tattersail, but now she's a baby. Yeah, I think that basically covers it. I also kind of like Crocus, but he's also kind of just a kid. I actually have no idea how old anybody in this series is. I'm sure some of them are like 100 years old, 300, 1,000 years old, and others are like 25. Who knows? Wait, did I hear that right? Was Ben a member of the Shadow? But isn't that the bad guys? But it sounded like maybe Ben left the Shadow organization. I don't know if that's how that works because those are like the different warrants, right? I don't know. And why is Lauren fighting Crocus? This book is very much blink and you miss it, except I'm listening on audiobooks or whatever the audio ear version of blinking is, but it is very much like I zone out for 30 seconds and everything's in a different place and I have no idea how we got there. Ooh, they cut Hairlock strings. Interesting. I have honestly no idea how he works. He's alive, was, of sorts, but can't move without his strings, which doesn't really make sense because on a puppet, a string would mean you're being controlled. So, I don't know. It seems like he was like cursed or something, right? Because he has to... Ben kind of controls him a little bit. In any case, his strings have been cut and now he's dead, which not sad about. But also that was like the Hounds, which work for Shadow, and Shadow was the bad guys, but Hairlock works for the Dark, which is also not good. I don't know. Alright, so there's 3 species, 3 races that we've been introduced to, right, so far. There's humans. Then there's the Tiste Andes, which are like what Animander Rake are, which are like almost godlike, right? Maybe because Animander Rake is just like such a sci-fi term, it makes me think of an alien species. Like I'm thinking of, there is from Mass Effect, like a blue alien. There's something visual I am thinking of for Animander Rake, but it's literally just because that name sounds super sci-fi. Anyway, so there's the Tiste Andes, whatever. Then there's humans. And then there's the Arun, whatever those are, which is what Tool is. And maybe we'll meet more later. What I am finding is that I don't like various species races as much in fantasy as I do in sci-fi, because I really liked in The Wayfarers how there were all these different species of alien, and I really liked that, and I thought maybe I would like it in fantasy too, but so far I don't think I do, because I think the stuff I liked about it in sci-fi was like you get to learn the cool biology and how they do things differently, and that's not really what we get from this, but maybe. I absolutely do not trust this strange man with the hounds. This is... I really thought I had a good grasp of what was going on in this section. But whatever went on with Perun and those chains and the hounds, I have no idea what any of that was.
It really just lost me again. And then finally, Sorry isn't sorry anymore. It seems like whatever was possessing her, the like creepy old candle woman that was possessing her, seems to have left. Or is gone? Was she killed? Maybe that's what Perrin was doing with the chains and didn't know it? I don't know. But in any case, she's back to being actually just a scared little girl now. So Crocus and them are going to have to deal with that. And that's where I'm at. I think probably one more update, depending on how much I get through. But I think what I'm finding with this series is I was expecting it to be slow, because the idea of like complicated world building and really detailed crazy stuff and lots of characters says to me slow for fantasy. You know, it's the beginning of Way of Kings where you're getting to know the world, or Wheel of Time. Like classic fantasy to me just says slow. And this is not. This is very, very fast. And that's what's making it confusing, is not the, oh, this world is so complicated you can't understand it. It's that you're getting a lot of information, and if you zone out for a second, you have no idea what's going on anymore. So it's a very fast-paced book, which is interesting because it feels like slow classic fantasy, but we're just getting so much information at once, and it's like my brain cannot process those two contradictions. It's interesting. I don't hate it. I still don't think I'm in love with it yet, but we'll talk a little more after I finish book 5. If you can hear the thumping music from my neighbors, please ignore it. I'm here making some graphics for all my end of year videos, my like stats and stuff. And I was just thinking how nice it would be to be able to read while I do this. But I was like pausing on Gardens of the Moon because I hadn't updated you, and then I was like, oh yeah, duh. Why don't I update you while I do this? Who said I can't do both? This was the end of book 5. I was not expecting it to be the end of book 5, so I kind of, I don't know, I feel like I would have been paying a little more attention if I had known it was going to be the end of the book, of the section. I don't know, maybe. So I only have 3 notes. That doesn't seem like enough, but I have no idea what to think of Crocus and the former Sorry. It's just awkward. They're weird. I don't know. Crocus is kind of a horny teenage boy all the time. And I've said this a few times. There's something, I can't do horny teenage boys in books. I can't. It was one of the things I struggled with so much during the Farseer trilogy, especially book 2. It's one of the things I struggled with in the Inheritance cycle, although I struggled with a lot more than just that. And it's just, I can't do it. I can't do horny teenage boys. So Crocus, who seems sweet sometimes, is also just hard to deal with sometimes, you know, just a weird perspective. And that whole interaction he had with formerly Sorry, and I'll get to her new name in a minute, just uncomfortable to say the least. Let's to put it nicely, uncomfortable to say the least. The next thing I have here is there can't be anything good about Sorry taking the name Upsula. I don't remember her name. I think, just maybe, one ought not take the name of a god. I don't know about that one. It feels, at the very least, foreshadowy of what, I'm not sure. Maybe she claws her way to the top of the Thieves Guild? Maybe one of the gods, especially in this world where the gods like take action. It would be like, you know, if, gosh, I wish I knew if Helen was born and her dad was like, you know what's a great name for you? Athena. Like, not a good idea. Just doesn't seem like a good idea at all. And then my last note here, I think, is about, yeah, Perrin reuniting with Tattersail, seeing Tattersail again, which was uncomfortable. And also I feel like it shouldn't have taken me so long to realize that's what was happening. Like, I don't know, maybe that should have been a little more obvious from the get-go, as soon as, like, it introduced the idea of a super intelligent child, which, by the way, is one of my least favorite fantasy, sci-fi, horror tropes ever. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. I didn't like it in Interview with a Vampire. I didn't like it in Inheritance Cycle. I haven't thought about Inheritance Cycle in like 2 years, and yet I've mentioned it twice in this clip alone. Anyway, I didn't like it. Anyway, I just said, like, it was, like, weird. That's the best thing I can think of. Like, you know what it gives me? It gives me the Seep vibes. So in the Seep, in the Seep, there's this, like, alien race that comes to Earth, and they're, like, in the water supply, and you can use them in order to become basically anything you want, do anything. And there's these two girlfriends, fiancés, wives, I think they're married, that are talking with each other, and one of them wants to be reborn as a baby and is like, when I reborn, I want you to be my mother. And that's the vibe this gave me. Uncomfortable. Comfortable. That said, that is the end of this video. I am going to, oops. That's where I'm gonna stop for now. I'm gonna move on to book 6. There are 12 books in this, but I'm more than halfway through, and what am I at? I'm like 60-some%, which is weird. No, I'm well past that. Anyway, regardless. So I don't know. I think probably there will be 2 more updates, probably before the end, but we'll see how it's flowing. If you want to see those, make sure you hit subscribe so you know when they come out, because I upload irregularly. I'm working on that. And like the video if you liked it, to let me know that this is worth my time. And leave a comment if you're enjoying. I don't know, just leave a comment. All right, love y'all, bye.